taking time off your NCAA men's basketball tournament viewing. I got the Kentucky and Western Kentucky game on. It's on mute because I'm doing this show right here, right now. Tonight's show, we're going back to the regular format. We're going to go back to the regular format. Just letting people know. Before I get to the WWE recap, I have to point this out here. There was a huge announcement for WWE concerning WrestleMania 28. The announcement was made on the entertainment talk show Extra, hosted by Maria Menounos. It's been confirmed that there will be a Divas match after all. There will be a Divas match. On one side is Eve Torres and the Divas champion Beth Phoenix, the Glamazon. On the other side is Kelly Kelly and Extra TV host or hostess Maria Menounos. So obviously there has to be some celebrity involvement when it comes to WrestleMania. For example, Snooki last year, Mickey Rourke, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. The list goes on and on and on. It happens, boys and girls. Now, a lot of hardcore women wrestling fans not going to be all that happy that Maria Menounos is going to be wrestling at WrestleMania alongside Kelly and Eve and Beth. But I take Maria over Snooki. Now, Snooki, at least she shows something. At least she did something instead of standing in the middle of the ring like a pawn. At least she did something. At least she did something. So that was the announcement from earlier this afternoon. Again, Beth Phoenix and Eve Torres taking on Maria Menounos and Kelly Kelly. And remember, Maria Menounos and Beth Phoenix have a storied history with each other. Not to mention that Maria, has defeated Beth Phoenix twice. Will she go for the trifecta at WrestleMania? Gotta check it out on pay-per-view and find out. Now, if I can go further here, we could go ahead and get to the recap of WWE from the past week as we return back to the regular format at hand. SmackDown was last Friday night, and it was in charge by Raw interim GM John Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis wanted to start things off big. He wanted a big match to start things off. What's going on, Andrew? Joining me in the chat room on itmiradio.com/TTW. So, John Laurinaitis wanted to start off SmackDown big, so he got Teddy Long's assistant, the current United States champion, Santino Marella, to defend the U.S. title in a steel cage against Jack Swagger. Now, of course, Marella won the U.S. title from Swagger on the Raw prior to SmackDown last week. And Teddy Long got involved, Vicky Guerrero got involved, Laurinaitis got involved. Just when it looked like Jack Swagger was going to win back the United States Championship, Vicky Guerrero accidentally hits Swagger in the head with the cage door, and Santino weaseled his way out of the cage, picking up the victory and retaining the United States Championship. Then there was a confrontation between Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, courtesy of Michael Cole. And I said this on the show last week, that if John Laurinaitis has something to do with it, Drew McIntyre was going to get his job back. On the SmackDown prior, I believe McIntyre lost his job. He was given many chances by Teddy Long to win matches and live up to the contract. McIntyre just couldn't get it done. So they're making McIntyre the chosen one by Vince McMahon. They're making him a little weak, if you ask me. But that's just me. But thanks to John Laurinaitis, McIntyre got the green light, got another opportunity. Just when it looked like Drew McIntyre would have to win his job back by facing the Great Khali. Just when it looked like that McIntyre was no way he was going to get his job back, facing Great Khali. David Otunga changed the match, and McIntyre ended up facing Hornswoggle. He beat him up so bad that the ref put it into the match. Hornswoggle was unable to continue. So McIntyre won, and he got his job back. He did get attacked by Great Khali after, but Drew McIntyre got what he wanted. He got his JOB back. Storyline wise, obviously. Andrew posted in the chat room, Scott Hall got released this month. I guess you referring to release as in getting released from rehab. Scott Hall, for those who may have missed his E60 special on ESPN, I highly recommend you check it out. I'm sure ESPN got it somewhere. Just go to ESPN.com, search Scott Hall or E60, and I'm sure they have it in the archives somewhere. You got to check out the Scott Hall's segment. I mean, the man was a talented competitor, and then drugs got into the way, cut his wrestling career short. He looks a mess. And now you got his son trying to fill in the footsteps, and he's a good kid. Scott Hall's kid is a good kid. To me, he's not going to follow the same path like his father did with the drugs. So he's got potential. Just lay out the drugs. Don't make the same mistakes that your dad made. So there you go. Oh, and get a load of this. SmackDown last week. Teddy Long versus John Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis made the match happen, boys and girls. And the stipulation, and it was kind of odd stipulation. If Teddy Long wins the match, then Kane gets to have a match against Teddy Long's girlfriend, Oksana. Now, before the match got started, Laurinaitis gave Long a chance to get out of this. All he had to do is get down and let Laurinaitis pin him. But Teddy Long's pride wouldn't let that happen. His pride would not let that happen. So instead of waiting until after the match, John Laurinaitis told Kane, come on out, go get Oksana, go handle your business. Just as Kane getting ready to enter the ring, Randy Orton comes to the rescue. Now that's a feud brewed between Kane and Orton. And by the looks of things, they may have a match against each other at WrestleMania. I think that announcement may be made on SmackDown tomorrow night. Be on the lookout for that. So as I was saying, Randy Orton RKO's Kane outside the ring. Now remember, the bear was already wrong before Kane came out. So it was all fair's game. Teddy Long with a schoolboy pin and picks up the victory over John Laurinaitis. Not much happened, but it's just going with the storyline. Mark Henry defeated the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, and Kofi Kingston and R-Truth has defeated Primo and Epico. So could this happen at WrestleMania as well? Kofi and Truth versus Primo and Epico? Oh, and I'm going to get to Sheamus, Orton Show versus Brian Miz and Rose in just a little bit. My good friend Andrew gives me another story to discuss. Jim the Anvil Neidhart was sentenced to 5 months for stealing tablets and pills from a neighbor. Claimed Neidhart broke into the back door of her house and stole the medication from her. During the hearing, Neidhart had an outburst and was charged with contempt in court. Neidhart was being held after being booked yesterday afternoon, the Wrestling Observer reports. Talk about an unfortunate story. You gotta wonder, how does Jim's daughter Natalia feel about this? Not so good. You know, the Hart family is not known for getting in trouble with the law. Now, Papa Anvil, he got some explaining to do. And Papa Anvil, just take the 5-month sentence and just go on. It's not a good look. The Hart family don't normally get in trouble with the law that much. They really don't. Not Bret. I don't think Bret Hart gets in trouble. I don't think Owen Hart or British Bulldog or any of the other Hart family members, or even Natalia for that matter, has had troubles of running with the law. They normally stay out of trouble. But that doesn't appear to be the case when it comes to Jim. Not a good look. Had to go to jail for 5 months stealing tablets and pills from a neighbor. You broke into the back door of the house and stole the medication. Then you had an outburst and charged with contempt in court. Not a good look, Jim. I guess sometimes wrestlers, they get caught up into their gimmicks when it's not needed. You can't be Jim the Anvil Neidhart in court. You can't use your name, wrestling name, and reason your way out. Just take the punishment, go to jail, and try not to steal people's tablets. I mean, you can afford your own, can you? I mean, you got money. You're hard. You got bucks. Now, I understand that's what it all comes down to for wrestlers after their careers come and gone. Andrew, to answer your question, your response for that matter, is March Madness. A lot of people want to watch The Attorney. You know, I want to watch Attorney too, but I got a show to do. That's what I'm doing right here, right now. Now, of course, Jeff is still working, so obviously he's not here. And everyone else, I'm guessing, they watching the tournament. Hell, I'm going to watch the tournament when this show is all over at 9 o'clock. Oh, and Sheamus, Randy Orton, The Big Show defeated Daniel Bryan, The Miz, and Cody Rhodes. Andrew informs me that there's going to be a TNA base brawl in Lexington, Kentucky on August the 18th in Whittaker Bank Ballpark. So it looks like TNA's coming to Lexington after all. They were in Kentucky last week for a couple of days, so I may have to. I've never went to a TNA show before, and I don't know exactly what day that is. But if it's not a Saturday night, if it's not a Saturday night, or if it's not a Thursday night, then I'm there. Tickets go on sale for May the 4th. TNA Base Brawl Show, Lexington. Oh boy. If it's on a Saturday, I can't go because I'm doing the show on that day. I'll take a look and see if I can or not. But if it's on a Saturday, if it's on a Thursday night, or if it's on a Saturday night, I can't go. I'm doing shows Thursday nights and Saturday nights. We'll see. Let's get on to the Monday Night Raw recap from this past Monday night. Before I get into that, WWE Board Directors have announced that after WrestleMania, either John Laurinaitis or Teddy Long is going to be in charge of both of shows. And that will be determined in a 12-man tag team match. One team featuring Teddy Long, the other team representing John Laurinaitis. And here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. If Team Teddy Long wins, Teddy Long's in charge of both Raw and SmackDown. If Team Laurinaitis wins, John Laurinaitis is in charge of both shows. So they got a couple of weeks to recruit some people. They can pick anybody from Raw or SmackDown. It doesn't necessarily have to be all of Raw versus all of SmackDown. For example, on Laurinaitis' team, you got Otunga representing Raw, Mark Henry representing SmackDown. And on Teddy Long's team, as I look around here, Santino Marella will be the captain of Team Long. David Otunga will be the captain of Team Laurinaitis. So both Long and Laurinaitis got a couple of weeks to get these teams filled out. I have a feeling that maybe Christian or Berto Del Rio, one of the two or both, may be representing Laurinaitis. So we shall see. So Shawn Michaels talked to Undertaker about being the guest referee. Special guest referee. Undertaker, he's not bothered too much by it. You know, I love the storyline leading up to it. Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Triple H, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. Shawn Michaels gonna be the referee. You know, this defines the end of an era. I'm glad you brought that up, Brownie, Andrew. Yes, he did mention the wrong date. To correct the dead man, it is not April 21st. It is April the 1st. I'm going to let Undertaker slide on that one because he's a wrestler. And he probably took too many chair shots in the head. Too many injuries, too many chair shots. And sometimes wrestlers don't think straight. They don't think all the way through. When you take a lot of chair shots, sometimes you don't think straight. Yeah. Undertaker made a mistake. Whoop de woo. R-Truth, I think last year or the year prior, mentioned the wrong city name. Whoop de woo. These are wrestlers. Too many chair shots. So everything was perfect except for the date name. I will put it that way. Otunga and Mark Henry defeated Santino and who was his tag team partner? Well, he was supposed to have a tag team partner. It ended up being in a 2-on-1 handicap match. CM Punk defeated The Miz as James Rode of Psych did he was his guest ring announcer for the match. Of course, The Miz was on an episode of Psych yesterday. Very interesting. You also had Brodus Clay making his return, bringing the funk. Oxorus back, defeated Jinder Mahal. Brodus Clay been MIA. So, is WWE trying to bring him back to the forefront perhaps? Maybe. I like the Brodus Clay gimmick. Look, sometimes a lot of wrestling shows, all they do is wrestling. You gotta have some form of entertainment. That's what Brodus Clay brings. He brings you entertainment. He's a big dude, dancing, shaking his butt, which it's not my cup of tea. I don't want to see a big 300, 400-pound dancing, shaking his stuff. But hey, it's entertainment. Sports entertainment. That's what WWE do. Now, I want to get into Cena rap versus Rock concert. John Cena brought it back. He brought it back to old school Cena. He brought it back. He had the fitted cap, had the Cleveland Cavaliers throwback jersey, had the chain, had the all white sneakers. Yes, it was a short rap, and The Rock gets to perform 15-20 minutes. But sometimes it's not how long your performance is, it's how effective it was. It's how effective it was. And Cena's rap was effective. What I liked about Cena's rap is that he only focused on The Rock. He didn't talk about no family members. He didn't talk about nobody's family members. He didn't talk about he didn't went too far. He just talked about The Rock. He focused on The Rock. At WrestleMania, it's going to be Rock versus Cena. Not Rock flirting with Cena's moms. So I liked it. I thought it was good. It was clever. Called him a tooth fairy, in reference to a movie that The Rock was on called The Tooth Fairy. And then he called him LeBron James. Took your talent South Beach. I thought it was a clever rap for Cena. I thought it was clever. It was dope. Now on to Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock. 15, 20, 30 minutes of a concert. The Rock was clever. I'm going to give him props. He's an entertainer. He makes people laugh. He's the puppeteer. He's the puppet master. He has the fans at the palm of his hand. And he was good. He was real good. Now, he talked about Cena being born. He talked about being with Cena's moms. Talked about lady parts. I mean, man, all this sexuality tension. How do you know if Cena don't have balls or not? How do you know if he got lady parts or not? Rocky. Or maybe that's how you roll. I don't know how Cena rolls. He does have a girlfriend. Now, I like majority of the concert except he wanted to do his own version of We Will Walk You performed by Queen. We Will Walk You by Queen. That's a classic. There are some classics that should not be touched. Queen, We Will Walk You is just one of them. The only time you hear that song is during sports events. When you're coming off of a timeout or whatever. But I'd say this. He should have never did that. The rest of the concert was good. Talking about Cleveland rocked. Considering that WWE Raw was at Cleveland this past Monday night, home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh, and get a load of this. There was a WWE.com exclusive. Machine Gun Kelly, one of my favorite upcoming rappers. John Cena has invited Machine Gun Kelly to perform his theme song during his entrance at WrestleMania. John Cena has had memorable WrestleMania entrances. He was driving a car. He was shooting guns. He had a bunch of fake John Cenas surrounding him. And now he's going to have Machine Gun Kelly, one of the rising rappers in the game. So Machine Gun Kelly will be at WrestleMania to perform John Cena's theme song, April 1st. Cleveland is going to play a role at WrestleMania. Probably going to be one of the biggest highlights in his life, in his career, for that matter. So I thought both sides were good. Oh, and Sheamus defeated Dolph Ziggler. Orton took on Swagger. I believe Orton defeated Swagger. Kane came out. Those two went at it. And I believe that is your recap of WWE for the past week. A little bit later on the show, I will make my pay-per-view picks for TNA Victory Road pay-per-view. Oh, and check this out. If you so happen to be a fan of TNA and Ohio Valley Wrestling. This Sunday, Ohio Valley Wrestling is having a live show at the Derby Expo Park. The doors are open at 5. The show starts at 6. And if you stick around after the show, you get to watch TNA's Victory Road pay-per-view for absolutely free, no extra charge. If you happen to be in the Louisville area, of course. Remember, Victory Road is this coming Sunday. And this is the first time that Ohio Valley Wrestling has done this. Remember, Ohio Valley Wrestling is the official developmental system for TNA and Impact Wrestling. So, obviously, this would not happen if it wasn't for the approval of TNA. TNA gave OVW the green light to make this happen. So, not only you get to check out the OVW wrestlers, you get to interact with them, autographs, pictures, and stuff, but you get to watch the TNA pay-per-view with them. A good sign of thinking maybe one day some of the OVW talent will get their break over at Impact. Andrew, I will let you know on the day of WrestleMania. On the day of. I don't want to make any promises or anything, but I will let you know on the week off. I will let you know via Facebook if I can go or not. Uh, I work Sundays usually. I haven't been working a lot on Sundays as of late, but I may end up working, next couple of Sundays or so. So I will let you know. I will give you, I will let you know when we get close to it via Facebook. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, normally at this time, I would do an interview by now. But even I'm not sure if I'm going to have the interview or not. You see, I was trying to get this interview with a wrestler named the Radiant Rain. And I have reminded her on Tuesday. And I reminded her today via Twitter and email. She wanted to know when. I gave her the info. I gave her the link. I even tweeted her the call-in number. So obviously, I hope she got the info a couple of hours ago. I'm not sure if she got it or not. I hope she did. Otherwise, it looks like we're not going to have our interview scheduled tonight. As I got plenty more time to spare here, Kentucky putting a spanking on Western Kentucky right now. 67-41, 10:23 left. You know what I'm going to do when this show is over? Hell, I may not even watch Impact. I may just watch the rest of these games. I'm just putting it out there. I may not even watch the games. I may not even watch Impact tonight. But here's what I think I may do. I may end up watching. I may not even watch SmackDown tomorrow. I just may watch all the games that are scheduled. I'm just gonna have SmackDown the DVR. So it's just Kentucky. I truly believe that this is going to be their year. I truly believe that John Calipari and company are going to finally get it done and win that championship. Not to be too far off topic here, but apparently I don't have a guest tonight. I'm on my own. Jeff ain't here. So I guess I'm better off doing whatever, and a nice dunk by Michael Kidd Gilchrist. How can people pronounce his name correctly? People call him Michael Kidd, or Michael Kidd Gilchrist, or Michael Gilchrist. I don't know why his last name is Kidd Gilchrist, but I'll tell you, that kid can play. Calipari did a remarkable job with him. But here's what I do have planned next Thursday night. Next Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen, I have scheduled a wrestler named Jelena. And then we're going to recap Impact, SmackDown, Raw, Victory Road. We're going to recap all of that. And then, announcement. Wednesday, March 28th, which happens to be, the wrestler name is Jelena. Jelena. That is her name. Just let you know. She's going to be the guest next Thursday night. But as I was saying, on Wednesday, March 28th, that happens to be WrestleMania week, by the way. WrestleMania week. I'm going to do a show on Wednesday, March 28th at 8 p.m. Wednesday of that week only. Since Jeff's taking a hiatus, I can afford to do shows on Wednesdays if I wanted to. I want to give a shout out to my good friend, Smooth Gentleman. Made his ITMI radio debut yesterday, the Circle of Champions. He did a really, really, really good job with his debut. He's on Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. He's on from 6 to 8 p.m. on Wednesdays. Check him out. Oh, and check this out. I believe he's got an interview scheduled next Wednesday. He's going to be interviewing Christian Muscagni, formerly of Ohio Valley Wrestling. So that should be interesting there. That should be very, very interesting. So check him out. He's on the Talk channel, itmiradio.com. Go to the Talk channel and click on Circle of Champions. Should be a lot of fun. So yeah, Wednesday, March 28th, WrestleMania week. I'm doing the show on that day. I'm going to be on from 8 to 10 p.m. And I also want to announce the people that's going to be calling in on the 1 year anniversary show on April the 11th. I can confirm that Primetime Amy Lee and Casey Carlisle, two former guests, will be calling in. A lot of people love to be at WrestleMania week. The access, should be a lot of fun. That should be a lot of fun. I, for one, would love to be there. That, my friends, would be a lot of fun. Before I get too far off topic here, I do want to point something out here. I do want to point out Casey Carlisle and Amy Lee will be calling in on the WrestleMania. Not WrestleMania, but they're actually going to call in on April the 11th. That is Triple Threat Wrestling Radio's 1 year anniversary show. The 1 year anniversary show will be on April the 11th. That is on a Wednesday as well. Oh, and check this out. As far as wrestlers in Lexington, Kentucky, next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after, there's going to be WWE Hall of Famer Sunny. She's going to be at the Lexington Comic and Toy Convention. WWE Hall of Famer Sunny will be at the Lexington Convention Center for the 2012 Lexington Toy and Comic Convention. It's only a 1-day convention. You can go to check out Lexington Comic and Toy. You can Google it for more info. I don't know what the actual I don't know the actual link by heart. Hey, as long as I don't have to work on that day, Andrew, I will be there. Or at least I will attempt to be there. According to my good friend, the great Cheyenne, she told me she's going to be in Ohio Valley Wrestling TV taping next Wednesday. And that she's going to be wrestling. She's going up against the OVW Women's Champion Taylor Hendricks. And I want to give a huge shout out to Taylor Hendricks right now. Some of you may have seen it. Some of you may not have seen it by now. But I did a video interview with Taylor Hendricks a couple of weeks ago. It's uploaded on the Triple Threat Wrestling Radio's YouTube page. Check it out. YouTube.com/user/TTW Radio. The video has been out for a couple of weeks and has already reached 1,000 views. 1,000 freaking views. Oh, and more news in concerning former guests on here. Jessie Belle Smothers making her return to Kentucky. She's going to be in USWF in Liberty, Kentucky, taking on Amazing Maria. And then on Sunday, UWF, she's going up against Alita Ortiz, another former guest. So I got former guests facing each other. Brilliant. And don't forget that 2012 Vixen DVD available at UWF shows. Or you can contact one of the UWF wrestlers on Facebook for more info. They cost $7. I know they had the 2011, 2012 on the last UWF show, but I think they're going to have focus more on the 2012. They'll be available during the UWF shows, and it costs only $7. $7. And you got Alita Ortiz, Jessie Belle Smothers, Amazing Maria, Kayla Marie Stoll, Epiphany, some of the talented female wrestlers in the tri-state, in Ohio, in Kentucky, in Indiana, all joined forces to put together this all-woman wrestling show. And I was honored to be there in attendance, and I was honored to interview majority of the wrestlers that were a part of the event. So, it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of good times. And I'm looking forward to eventually doing a video interview with Felony Fox. She's going to be there on Sunday. I think she's going to be the referee of Ortiz versus Smothers. And I think there may be a match, I think, between Amazing Maria versus Nutty Nancy. Kenny, you're going to the wrestling on Saturday in Winchester, depending on what time Kentucky plays. The MWA show, I don't think I'll be going, because I'm doing chilling on that night. And if I recall, yeah, Kentucky's playing right now. It looks like they're going to win this game. So, yeah, they'll be playing on Saturday, too. I hope they play in the Saturday afternoons so I can watch that and then check out, then do chilling. So, I got to check out that August 18th for TNA Baseball. I've never went to a TNA show in my life. I would like to at least go one. So, here we go. Let's get to the TNA Impact recap. And then I'll make my predictions for the Victory Road pay-per-view. It all started with Bischoff, Flair, Gunner, and Angle rambling along. Then you have Eric Young asking Sting for advice. You have that happening. Of course, Eric Young has built a relationship with ODB. And there was a lot of mixed reactions in concerning the Knockout Tag Team Championship match from last week between Gail Kim and Madison Rayne versus ODB and Eric Young. Now, let me point this out. The Knockout Championship, that's the females version. You know, WWE has Divas, TNA has Knockouts. And last time I checked, Eric Young is not a chick. He's a dude who somehow got into this match teaming up with his girlfriend ODB and went on to defeat Gail Kim and Madison Rayne. I'm not a fan in all this. Now, if this was an untitled match, I wouldn't be saying too much about it. But I'm not thrilled with the outcome of this. That you have a male and a female are winning a woman tag team championship. It makes no sense to me. And I like ODB and I like Eric Young. I'm a fan of them both. But this is ridiculous. Then you have Bully Ray versus Bobby Roode going at it. And how about this? Garrett Bischoff, the son of Eric Bischoff, teamed up with Jeff Hardy, defeated Kurt Angle and Gunner. Zema Ion defeated Austin Aries by disqualification. Crimson and Matt Morgan defeated Robbie E and Robbie T. Oh, and guess who made his return to TNA? Mr. Anderson. That's right, Anderson. He's back. He hasn't been around for a minute, but he's back. Mr. Asshole himself. He's back. Should be interesting. Yes, should be interesting. Now, they make a bad couple to me, I think. Well, it's a storyline, Andrew. Some things don't make sense, but it does. Eric Young and ODB, and not only did they win the Knockout Tag Team Championship, but after the match, Eric Young proposed to ODB. It caught ODB off guard. ODB, she a badass chick. And, you know, she's not known for being all that feminine. You know, she feels like she's one of the guys drinking beer, kicking ass and all that. She's a great wrestler. There's no denying that. But she got caught off guard a little bit when when Eric Young proposed to her. So you know how when a man proposes to a woman, a man gets on one knee, brings out the ring and asks to be married? Well, ODB decided to turn the tables a little bit and said, "You proposed to me, damn it." Eric Young happily accepts. So you know those two are going to get married probably right in time for the April pay-per-view lockdown. But I wonder how long TNA is going to have a man and a woman having a woman tag team championships. Let's just look at it technically for what it is. A man and a woman have woman tag team titles. That's odd to me, if you ask me. Some things just don't make sense. Some things just don't. They just don't. As we get to the final 10 minutes of the show, and I come to the realization that I don't have an interview scheduled tonight. We'll see if she responds via Twitter or whatever. But I'm completely comfortable doing the show on my own. Done it many times. I'll do it more. I plan on doing it more often anyway. Should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. And thanks to everybody else that's maybe listening on the outside. Or thanks to those who's listening to this on the replays or on the podcast. Without further ado, I present to you my pay-per-view predictions segment. I do this every Thursday before a pay-per-view. So here we go. Victory Road pay-per-view predictions. We start off with the Knockout Tag Team Championships. Now, I'm starting to like this Gail Kim and Madison Rayne. Gail Kim acting like she's going to be protected by Madison Rayne. But at the end of the day, it's all about being number one. It's all about that Knockout Championship. Who's the true head knockout of the division? As I look around, I think Madison Rayne's going to pull the upset. She's a former knockout champion herself, but I see Madison Rayne. I think she's gonna win. I believe she's gonna win. She's gonna pull. And let me take that back. It's not gonna be an upset, but I think she's gonna pick up the victory. That's what I think. Now, on to some more matches. You got Samoa Joe and Magnus teaming up against Matt Morgan and Crimson for the tag team titles. Remember, Samoa Joe and Magnus won the tag team titles from Morgan and Crimson. There appears to be tension between Morgan and Crimson. And it looks like Crimson, Mr. Undefeated, he may be turning into a bad guy. And if that's the case, I'm going to go with Samoa Joe and Magnus to retain the belts. That's what I'm going. That's just what I feel. I'm going to go with Samoa Joe and Magnus to retain the belts. And I see Matt Morgan and Crimson fighting right after. On to the X Division Championship match. Austin Aries versus Zema Ion. It's for the X Division Championship. Austin Aries has been the champion for a minute. And I think he's going to successfully retain the championship belt. That's just what I think. Austin Aries is a great competitor. I'm just not into Zema Ion. Not a fan of him. Not that much. I mean, he can hang, but he's not my cup of tea. Now on to the semi-main event. How about things going full circle for Jeff Hardy? He goes up against Kurt Angle. Remember last year, Victory Road, he had a match against Sting for the World Heavyweight Championship. And a lot of people weren't so happy with Jeff Hardy's performance. So things are looking real full circle for the charismatic Enigma. He's going up against Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle said he wants to compete for the Olympics. I see him, and if that's the case, I see him competing at this pay-per-view, and I see him competing in April, and then he's getting back to training for the Olympics. I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy to redeem himself at Victory Road. I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy. And now, on to your main event of the Victory Road pay-per-view. It's going to be Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode defending the TNA World Heavyweight title against the Icon Sting. Things has gotten pretty personal between these two men, storyline wise, but you get the idea. And remember when Sting had the tweet stating I'm done, having people assume that he was going to retire? What he really meant was I'm done being retired. I'm done being a nice guy. I'm done trying to be in charge and things ain't working out. I'm done trying to not let my emotions get the best of me. I'm the Stinger, damn it. But in the end, the leader of the selfish generation will prevail. I'm going with Bobby Roode to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. And don't forget, if you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, you can go to Ohio Valley Wrestling. 81-65, the final score. Yeah, Kentucky put a spanking on Western Kentucky. So 3 Kentucky teams have advanced to the next round. Kentucky, Western Kentucky, and Kentucky, Louisville, and Murray State. 3 Kentucky teams has advanced to the next round. Of course, I got Kentucky going all the way and win the whole thing. But as I was saying, if you are in the Louisville area, go check out Ohio Valley Wrestling show at the Derby Expo Park. Show, the doors open at 5. The show starts at 6. You can check out the TNA Victory Road pay-per-view for absolutely free, no charge. So if you got nothing to do right after the show ends, right around 7:45 or 8 o'clock, stay in the expo and you get to watch the Victory Road pay-per-view for free. You don't have to pay diddly squat. You really don't. You just don't. No Impact for me tonight. I'm going to have it on the DVR. And I may not even watch SmackDown tomorrow neither. I'm just going to watch this tournament, man. Forget everything else. It's March Madness. It's basketball. College basketball at its finest. I'm watching the tournament. Just a couple of reminders. Jeff mentioned this on his show earlier. Nowhere Best Sports Show on Friday, Saturday, and Monday. His show will be back on Tuesday. Jeff will be joining me on Chilling with Jeff at Tennessee this coming Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. ChillingBroadcasting.com and ITMIRadio.com. I want to thank everybody who's listening in the chat room. Thank you to those who's listening on the outside. Thank you to those who's listening to this on the podcast or the replays or whatever. You can listen to this and many more on chillingbroadcasting.com and ITMIRadio.com. Thank you for taking time off your March Madness and checking out Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. I'm about to get the heck on out of here. It's your boy Kenny C signing off. Thank you all for listening. I am Kenny C, and I'm out this piece. Good night, everybody, and thank you again for listening. Triple Threat Wrestling Radio is a wrap. See you this Saturday on Chillin', and see you next Thursday night on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. You all have a good night. Go Kentucky Wildcats. Big Blue, baby.